War isn't just won with weapons, it's won with wisdom. Throughout history, some commanders didn't just fight battles, they outhawed their enemies and changed the course of empires. In this video, we'll uncover 5 of the greatest military minds in history, tacticians who redefined warfare with strategy, speed, and brilliance. Number 1. Khalid bin Walid. Khalid bin Walid, famously known as the Sword of Allah, is considered the world's most undefeated general. Napoleon is often called the greatest general, along with Alexander the Great and Julius Caesar. But sometimes in history, there are wars where defeat seems certain. Yet Khalid bin Walid stands out. He is the only general in history who never lost a single battle in his entire life. And this isn't just acknowledged by Muslims. The entire world recognizes it. His strategies and battle planning are so effective, they are still studied today. Even top universities like Oxford and Harvard examine his military tactics. Born around 592 AD, in Mecca, Khalid was a member of the Quraysh tribe and initially opposed the Prophet Muhammad. However, after converting to Islam in 629 AD, he quickly became one of the most formidable warriors and strategists in history. Khalid's military career is marked by an unbroken record of victories in over 100 battles, including major conflicts against the Byzantine and Sasanian empires. His most famous victory came at the Battle of Yarmouk in 636 AD, where he led approximately 30,000 Muslim soldiers against a Byzantine force of 1 lakh. His innovative use of mobile cavalry units, strategic feints, and deep knowledge of terrain allowed him to defeat the Byzantines and secure Muslim control over the Levant. Another significant achievement was his conquest of Iraq during the Ridda Wars and his subsequent campaigns against the Sasanian Empire. At the Battle of Wallaha, Khalid used a double envelopment tactic to annihilate a much larger Sasanian force, showcasing his mastery of battlefield tactics. Khalid was not only a brilliant strategist, but also an exceptional individual fighter. He was known for his bravery, adaptability in combat, and his ability to exploit the fast-paced fighting style of the Muslim armies. He was both the best commander and the best warrior of his time. On top of his battlefield skill, Khalid had a unique ability to inspire those around him. It was considered an honor to fight alongside the Sword of Allah. Khalid bin Walid died on March 22, 642 AD in Homs, Syria, at around the age of 50. He retired from military life and went down in history as the greatest warrior of all time. Number 2. Alexander the Great. Ascending the Macedonian throne upon the death of his father, Philip II, in 336 BCE, the 20-year-old king, Alexander was far from inexperienced in politics or on the battlefield. He immediately began subduing threats when he rose to power and never stopped. A war-seasoned commander from his teen years, Alexander was eager to achieve one of his late father's dreams, a Macedonian conquest of the vast Persian Empire which stretched from Egypt and Western Asia to the Indus Valley. Alexander succeeded in this endeavor, and more halting his conquest in India only at the behest of his own men, who were battle-weary and homesick. He earned his title of the Great largely due to his success in war, which included never losing a battle in his 13-year reign. Alexander incorporated a number of strategic efforts into his fighting, one of the most notable being a personal one. He led from the front, which he believed struck fear into the opposing army and inspired his own men. He ensured that his men were exceptionally well-trained and armed. The Macedonians utilized light armor that aided their mobility, which became one of their key advantages for the time. Alexander always scouted the battle terrain ahead of time, which assisted him in another one of his noteworthy measures: his ability to make quick, effective adjustments in the midst of battle. Though perhaps his death at the premature age of 32 left a great deal of his potential unrecognized, Alexander is still remembered as one of the premier military minds of the ancient world. Number 3. Hannibal Barca. A son of Carthage in North Africa, Hannibal Barca was raised from a young age to hate the Romans. Born at the end of the First Punic War, his country suffered greatly at the hands of the Romans. A bold soldier, Hannibal became commander of the Carthaginian army at age 26 in 2-1 BCE. He was soon enveloped in what would become the Second Punic War, largely resulting from Rome's anger at his recent conquests that expanded Carthaginian territory. Hannibal decided to strike where Rome would least expect it, organizing one of history's most impressive lightning campaigns. He, along with his army of over 50,000 and 37 war elephants, crossed the Pyrenees Mountains through autumn snows and arrived in northern Italy. He beat the Romans in a succession of battles, moving south over the next 2 years. Hannibal also began a diplomatic strategy, securing alliances with Syracuse and Macedonia. In 215 and 214 BCE, Rome began cutting off his lines of contact with his home country, and Hannibal found himself somewhat stranded in southern Italy with exhausted forces. He employed a variety of tactics to keep his men afloat, including diversionary attacks and guerrilla warfare. However, eventually, his depleted forces were forced to return to Africa when the Roman army allied itself with Carthage's neighbor, Numidia, and attacked Carthage proper at the city of Zama. Eventually, Hannibal's success would cease, and Carthage would once again be defeated by the Romans. He resigned his post as general. However, the people of the ruined country of Carthage chose Hannibal to serve as Safit, a type of government representative, in hopes of pulling their country back to its feet. However, he was forced to flee when Rome became suspicious that he may be forming alliances to strike back at them once again, and arrive for an inquiry. Hannibal spent the rest of his life on the run until he completed suicide by poison in 183 BCE. Number 4. Subutai. Genghis Khan is known to historians the world over for his successful Mongol Empire that established the largest land dominion known to history in the 13th century. However, the fact that he did not accomplish this feat alone is often left unrecognized. Genghis Khan owed a great deal of his success to his primary military strategist General Subutai, also spelled Subutai or Subutai. Subutai was not of noble origins. He was born the son of a blacksmith, but he quickly rose through Mongolian military ranks due to his skill and strategy on the battlefield. He is credited with leading over 20 campaigns over his career in which he conquered more territory than any other commander in history, including Alexander the Great. Subutai was known for implementing imaginative, unique strategies and effectively coordinating armies that were hundreds of miles away from one another. Subutai was one of the earliest proponents of siege engines. Many of the tactics he implemented, such as using stone throwers to open a path for his cavalry while at the same time flanking the enemy, had never been seen by the forces his armies were facing, making them especially devastating. He used spies to prepare his battle plans, gathering intelligence on some of his enemies for up to a year before the attack. While many picture the Mongols as bloodthirsty, Subutai knew talent when he saw it and made a habit of incorporating skilled military minds and engineers from conquered peoples into his army. Subutai's career outlasted the death of Genghis Khan and that of his son, Ogedei Khan, upon which Subutai and his army returned home from their assault on Eastern Europe. If not for the change in Mongolian leadership and alterations in the empire, many historians believe that Subutai would have succeeded in taking on the Holy Roman Empire and the remainder of Europe. Subutai passed away at age 72 after his retirement 2 years prior. Number 5. Saladin. Known as Saladin in the Western world, Salah al-Din al-Ayyubi founded the Ayyubid dynasty in what is now Egypt and Syria. Born in 1138, he became a sultan and was known as a champion of Islam, defending the Arab world against Christian warriors during the Third Crusade. Saladin would be exceptionally successful during the Crusades, expanding his empire and gaining control of the heavily sought-after Jerusalem. Saladin used his diplomatic skills to unite the Muslim world, which aided his army's success during the Crusades. Though he commanded his army for over 2 decades, Saladin fought in just a handful of battles. His accomplishments came not from constant victory on the battlefield, but long-term campaign strategy. Saladin combined his diplomacy with psychological warfare, particularly in an offensive manner, as he sought to boost the morale of his own troops. A light force, his army was able to move rapidly, particularly in comparison to their Crusader counterparts, who often relied on heavy knights. Despite his death from illness, likely typhoid, at age 56, Saladin's empire would persist for decades beyond the loss of its founder. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's coming next. Thank you for watching.